75 grand a week he's on.
I know, it's ridiculous.
That was lovely, that.
Flipping dishwasher. Maybe I'll get Neil round. He knows about dishwashing.
I've told you I'll do it. It's not like I'm doing anything else right now.
Don't be silly, Kev. You're not up to it.
I'm all right most of the time. I can fix a dishwasher.
Kev, I said leave it.
Stop fussing, will you? I can manage.
I've got you. I've got you.
Oh, smash the dish.
Never mind the dish.
Good morning. How are you this fine day?
Actually, it's just an extension of yesterday. How come, when it's my turn to do the on-call co-op, the ward and his wife needs a doctor?
Well, if it's any consolation, I had the most perfect night's sleep.
I'm thrilled for you. Just you wait till it's your turn, and I'll get every patient from every practice in our area to call you with emergencies like not being able to sleep.
You are kidding.
Honestly, I almost lost it. Can't sleep, madam. I know how you feel. You know one old fella rang me because he'd lost his glasses.
It's all part of being a valuable service to the community.
Oh, by the way, I spoke to Faith yesterday.
What did she have to say for herself?
No, it's more what I had to say to her. I told her it wasn't good for the well-being of the practice to have one member of staff talking about another behind their back.
She has a grievance. There are proper channels.
Indeed. And if a member of staff has a relationship, no matter how brief, I think you'll agree with me that business and pleasure just don't mix.
I'll bear it in mind. Next time.
After you.
I tell you, it's those chemicals. We spend 15 years lifting up drums of the stuff onto forklift trucks. It's bound to affect you.
We don't know that.
It's as plain as the nose on my face. I told that doctor woman the first time we went to see her.
Yeah, and they tested me for it.
Yeah, along with about 8,000 other things. Anyway, I've rung one of them claim companies off the telly.
Karen, we don't know what it is.
Said we can take him to the cleaners. Negligence, industrial injury.
Oh, great, an expensive lawsuit.
It's no win, no fee. You'll only be getting what's yours. They did this to you. It's their fault. Now they've got to pay.
Don't fancy coming to a dance, do you, Mark?
Ooh, 50s now. That's before my time.
Well, you don't have to have lived through them to appreciate the music. Oh, go on, it'll be me and you on a date. I'll wear my bobby socks.
Tonight, you say?
Yeah.
Sorry, have to stay and wash my hair.
Helen, you don't fancy a night at the Hop, do you?
No.
Oh, come on. Someone's got to go with me. I'm not going to waste a spare ticket. Hey, what about you, Faith? You won't let me down.
Have you seen Mark yet?
He's already gone to his room.
Just take a seat, please. Oh, what's up there this morning? Look, are you sure you don't want to come to this dance?
I have never been more sure of anything in my life.
Well, what about you, Jude?
Jude?
Jude, you're back!
Oh, please, Katrina, I've been up all night. Welcome back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jude, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm feeling much better, thank you.
Oh, we were ever so worried about you, weren't we?
Very.
Oh, there was no need. I left a message.
Yeah, I know. I tried to ring.
Oh, well, I would have been in my bed sleeping.
Yeah, I came round to the house.
Did you?
Yeah, but I couldn't get an answer. I was wondering if there was something wrong with your doorbell.
Oh, no, it works perfectly. When I'm in bed, I use earplugs.
Oh, well, at least you're back now.
Yeah, indeed. Excuse me.
I still think she's looking a bit peaky.
Really? I thought she looked remarkably well rested. Oh, help. Can you ring Kevin Ross and his wife? I need them to come in. The latest test results have come back. Well, your hearing does appear to be getting worse.
I told you that.
I know, Mrs. Ross, but I need to confirm it for myself.
I don't see what this has got to do with chemical poisoning. I mean, surely people lose some of the hearing for all sorts of reasons.
Indeed they do. But in your husband's case, I'm convinced the symptoms are related.
It's that chemical company. They've poisoned him. I told him they needed better protection.
Mrs. Ross, no matter how much you wish it might be true, your husband has not been poisoned. The results of the toxicology tests that Kevin had done at the hospital have come back. He's tested negative for both mercury and lead poisoning. The progressive neurological failure has got nothing to do with his work.
But it must have.
Karen.
It has to be. It can't be anything else. That company. They've poisoned him. They owe us money. They don't care, you know. They didn't care about my dad. They didn't give a hoot about him.
Karen. So what else could it be?
They've had me tested for that much. There can't be a lot left that it can be.
To be honest, I wish I knew. Parkinson's, Huntington's chorea, multiple sclerosis, drug abuse, alcohol.
We knew it wasn't them.
Your joints ache, you feel a gradual loss of muscle control.
Comes and goes.
And now you're hearing. Anything else?
How much do you want?
I'll get a bit breathless when I do anything strenuous.
Do you? Well, I'll test your blood pressure again.
Haven't got a clue, have you, Doctor?
On the contrary, Mrs. Ross, I have an abundance of clues. It's putting them together in a coherent diagnosis I'm having the trouble with. But don't worry, we'll get there.
After how many consultants?
Every consultant you've seen has been a specialist in one area, and each has ruled out a particular cause. Now, I know it's frustrating, Mrs. Ross, but that's exactly why I'm convinced the symptoms are related. Now, Kevin, if you could just relax that arm for me.
Coffee?
Uh-huh.
That's diuretic. Shouldn't you be increasing your fluid intake?
I'm feeling fine.
Just asking.
Are you sure you're not hiding from anyone?
Katrina, keep your outfit, okay?
Oh, I could do one of those.
Well, the kettle has just boiled, the cups have been washed, and there's fresh milk in the fridge.
Perfect.
Do one for me, Faith. I'm desperate. Do you know what everyone's movements are for lunch today?
Well, I'm just going to stay here and have a sandwich.
No, the doctors. I need to call a case conference.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant...
I know what you thought.
OK, well, let me see what I can do. You do know that Mac's at a funding meeting all day, don't you? Wouldn't tomorrow be better?
Today, Katrina, today. The clue was in the question. What are they doing for lunch today?
Helen, I know you've been up all night, but I am only trying to help you.
I'm sorry, I'm just a bit frazzled.
Oh, no sugar for you, is it, Helen?
No. Do you ever think you might be losing it?
Bad day?
I need a case conference. You free at lunchtime?
Yeah, no problem. The trick is to carve out space for yourself. It's the only way to avoid going crazy in this game.
So what did you do?
What do you mean?
Come on, Jude. None of us was born yesterday. If you're going to have time off, you could have thought of something better than not feeling well. We're doctors. You've got perfectly healthy tattooed on your forehead.
I suppose it wasn't the best excuse. I was desperate.
Yeah, but there's no need to lie.
Well, I couldn't think of what else to do. I'm sorry.
It's not good enough, Jude, and you know it. Anyway, by the look of you, my money's on a European capital.
Yeah. We went to Paris.
We? You and Pete?
Yeah. We needed to get away and have some time together. Things haven't been good between us, as you know, and there were things that needed to be addressed. That was why I wasn't really thinking.
And how was it?
Well, to be honest, we didn't really see the sights. We just walked and talked. I have the blisters to prove it.
Well, I hope it went well.
And thanks for being so understanding.
Well, you could both do with a change of luck.
Well, the wedding's back on. Isn't that good?
Fantastic. Back on, that's great news.
Yeah.
I felt like a laughing stock at the doctors. Do you want them to find out what's wrong with me or what?
I was sticking up for you. I want answers, Kevin, not more questions.
All you're interested in is cashing in. You don't care about me. You've got this stupid idea in your head about compensation and you want everything to fit neatly into that.
It stands to reason, Kevin. Ever since you've been discharged from the army, you've been lifting dangerous chemicals at that flaming factory. It affects you. It affected my dad and they didn't give a monkey's about him.
Your dad, that's all I ever hear.
I killed him.
Why can't you accept the truth?
It is the truth.
He died of a heart attack 2 days after retiring. That's the truth, Karen. But you want to get back at them through me. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You heard her like I did. Whatever this is, it ain't poisoning and it ain't their fault. Get used to it, Karen, because there ain't no pot of gold at the end of this decrepit rainbow.
I'm sorry, Kev.
I'll be fine.
Hi, Helen was just wondering if you're free this lunchtime for a case conference.
About 1 o'clock should be fine.
All right. And tonight? Are you doing something tonight?
Tonight, I'm free. Well, I haven't got anything planned. Why, who wants me to cover for them?
Excellent. And you don't have to pay, it's my treat.
50s night?
Yes, it's a bit between the 40s and the 60s. But you're one heck of a dancer.
Hey, I never said I was coming.
Yes, you did. Now, I'll come and get you, or will you come and get me? Oh, who cares? Excellent. I'm really looking forward to it already. It's all sorted then. It's me and Ben the Big Bopper. Ben.
Ben. He agreed to this willingly.
Yeah, I virtually snatched the ticket out of my hand.
Poor bloke. Anyway, have you heard? Jude's wedding's back on. Looks like you'll be paying out on all those bets you took.
Not so fast, they're not married yet. There's still plenty of time for it to all go pear-shaped.
No, the bet was whether or not the wedding was off. Well, it isn't, it's on. So pay me the money.
No way. Bookies don't pay out on horses that haven't passed the post, and this particular horse has got a very long way to go yet.
I know you'd wriggle out of it.
I'm not wriggling. If they get married, then you'll see the money.
Strange, isn't it? Can you see yourself settling down just because you found the one?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't, but I can kind of see it now, lurking. No, this whole fairy tale thing's just a big no-no.
Yeah, tell me about it. You've got to kiss a lot of frogs before you find your prince these days.
I'm sure these symptoms are related. It's just that right now I can't see the wood for the trees.
How old did you say he was?
42.
Sounds neurological. Definitely not Parkinson's.
That was my first port of call after drugs and alcohol.
Could his hearing loss be something very separate? Family history, work, environment?
Could be, but there's no deafness in the family, and he doesn't work in a noisy environment. Forklift truck driver, industrial chemicals.
Oh, right.
And before you say it, no. Toxicological tests were negative. He's also developing symptoms of angina, so as a precaution I've contacted the cardio consultant and she's getting back to me with dates. I don't know, maybe I'm just losing my touch.
Helen, we've all had cases that don't add up. Thankfully not often, but it happens. Has he been abroad recently?
2 years ago, Mallorca.
Any injections? Inoculations in the past 5 years?
Nothing.
What would you say his overriding symptom was?
When he walks, he veers off a line, not losing balance, more an inability to go straight from one point to another.
He's 42, male. Can you describe his gait?
She's already been down that neuro route. He's seen a specialist.
When he takes a step, how does he go about it?
His gait, how would you describe it? Deliberate?
And what did he do before? I mean, not 5 or 10 years. Say, 20 years ago. What was his lifestyle?
He was in the army.
Gulf War?
I don't think so. He left before it all blew up.
Could I see him?
What do you think it might be?
I'm not sure. I'd have to see him first.
Thanks for this. I really appreciate it.
Don't thank me yet. It's only a hunch.
Why won't you tell me what you think it is?
Because I might be wrong and I don't want to get anyone's hopes up.
I'll give him a call, see if he can pop round.
Where? What do you mean, what am I going to wear?
It's a 50s night. Everyone goes a la 50s.
Yeah, but this wasn't part of the agreement.
Yes, well, it was on the ticket in the small print.
Which you whipped away from me even before I had a chance to look at that part.
Yes, well, failure to read the terms and conditions does not affect our contract, Dr. Kwame.
Well, you should be a lawyer.
You could go as Elvis.
What, do I look like Elvis?
No, but you've got the pelvis.
Ah, now, Jude, I found these in the reception for you. I know they're a year out of date, but they say class never goes out of fashion, don't they? And there's a dress on page 43 that I think would really suit you.
Oh, great.
Oh, no, it's a bit too meringue for me.
Right, well, if you're looking at a finger buffet, look at page 94.
Katrina, do I look like the sort of woman who would go for a finger buffet?
What's wrong with a finger buffet?
Katrina.
Oh, yes, you'll think of something.
That was Dr. Thompson from Riverside Surgery. She's sending another doctor round to see you.
They'll get it sorted.
Why do you love me?
Because I just do.
Even when I'm stubborn and stupid.
Especially then.
I must be an awful wife.
How are you supposed to react? It can't be much fun for you, can it? Watching your husband gradually falling apart. We both want to know what it is. You've just latched on to what seemed like the most obvious thing.
Yeah.
So what about me? What do you still see in this complete wreck?
Same thing that attracted me to you in the first place.
Oh yeah, what's that?
You still haven't lost it. You were the gawkiest squaddy in the whole of Catterick.
What would you both say if I said 7 o'clock tonight at the leather bar and the drinks are on me?
I'd say, why wait till 7?
Tonight?
Yeah. Celebration.
I'd love to.
Well, what's stopping you then?
Oh, I'll have to see how today goes. I'm up to my neck in it. I've been up all night and, well, I'm dead on my feet.
Oh, Helen, come on, it'll do you good. How often does the girl agree to get married?
Oh, with you and Pete quite often, actually.
Yeah, well, I suppose we do, but this time it's for real.
Oh, I'll drink to that. Can't wait to tell Katrina.
Right, ready when you are.
Never liked cheese, anyway.
You haven't seen Ben, have you?
This is Dr. Elliot, one of the other doctors from the practice.
Mark Elliott, pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you. Dr. Thompson, I owe you an apology. I'm sorry about what I said earlier.
It's okay. It's not wrong to care about your husband.
This way. Kevin, this is Dr. Elliot.
How are you? Probably a bit better than you, by all accounts. No, don't get up. Royal Midland.
Yeah, that's right. How do you know?
Royal Army Medical Corps. It was my job to know.
Glad you could come, sir.
Oh, no. Civvy Street, just plain doctor now. How long have you been out?
A long time. Joined straight after school. Did 10 years. I wasn't cut out for it, really.
Right. Let's see what we can do for you. Dr. Thompson's told me all about you, but I wanted to come and see you for myself. I understand you're having trouble walking.
Amongst a load of other things, yeah.
Could you do a few paces for me?
Well, I think my square bashing days are over, but I'll give it a go.
No, on his own, if you don't mind.
Sure.
You just walk through to the kitchen. Yep, keep going. Bet you got to see some places.
Too right. Belize, Kuala Lumpur.
Ah, did the old jungle training.
Yeah. I hear they've closed it down now.
That's progress. Yeah. And how are your joints?
My what?
Your elbows, knees, how do they feel?
Painful.
Dr. Thompson tells me your hearing's being affected as well.
I'm like an old car that's been round the clock. It's just one thing after another.
Have you got his notes there? So, you left the army 15 years ago. You've been a forklift driver since then?
Do you think that's got something to do with it?
No, I don't. How long have you been married, if you don't mind me asking?
18 years.
And this is difficult, so I'll come straight to the point. Forgive me for being blunt. Have you had sexual intercourse with anyone other than Karen during that time?
What's that got to do with anything?
No, never.
Mark, excuse us. You better tell me what's going on.
He's displaying all the classic symptoms of tertiary syphilis.
Need to speak to you.
Oh, no, what have I done now?
Nothing. Got some news about the wedding, straight from the horse's mouth. This time, it's for real. Cash, cheque, postal order. I'm really not precious.
Hey, just relax. I've told you, you'll get your money when the ring goes on the finger and not before.
That's what I love about you. You're such a romantic.
Yeah, just hold it there, Dr. Kwame. Is that a costume for our little dance I see you with?
I weighed up the options, Katrina, and I felt, on balance, if I didn't make an effort, you had a power to make my life not worth living. And on those grounds, I came to the conclusion that no man should have to go through that.
So is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
No, you've got it all wrong. Syphilis died out hundreds of years ago.
I'm afraid not. In the medical corps, I got to see it all too often. Usually in the primary stages, but sometimes in the older men it would reappear like this.
But hang on. If you're right and Kevin has got this syphilis, then that must mean I have it too.
I think that's unlikely.
No, but I mean, I must have. I mean, we're a normal married couple. We do normal married couple things. I mean...
Syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease, yes.
But that's what I said, if it...
But what Kevin has here are the symptoms of a disease he caught, I suspect, 20 years ago. It's rare that it gets this far, but it does happen.
I don't get you.
20 years ago, before you were married, I presume you had other sexual partners?
Yeah, of course.
And they weren't always women you knew well?
Come on, Doc, you were in the army, you know what it's like.
Yes, I do. Take Kuala Lumpur. After the jungle training, you'd have 48 hours R&R before you got on the plane back. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to work out what a bunch of young soldiers are going to try and fit in that time.
I was young, it's all you ever thought about.
Yes. So, what I'm saying is that about that time, 20 years ago, you contracted this disease from a sexual partner. Now, this disease goes in stages. At first, you would have got sores in the area you contracted it. And the reason you see so much of this in the forces is when you're on exercise, well, one sore looks pretty much like another, so it can often go undetected and untreated. And if it goes untreated, the symptoms disappear. They then reappear several weeks later as a skin rash on the hands or the feet, usually with sore throat, headaches, and again, if it's untreated, it clears up in its own time. Except this time it disappears for a long time. And from this moment on, it's no longer infectious.
So I may not have caught it?
No, but we need to get you checked out just in case. By the time you met Kevin, he was probably already in this latent stage. Now, if you're lucky, you probably don't show any further symptoms, but in most cases, after many years, the bacterium start to affect the muscles, the nervous system, the heart.
Hang on, syphilis? And didn't people used to die of that?
They still do. That's why we need to get Kevin checked as soon as possible. It's already started to affect his hearing, and if it remains untreated, it can affect his eyesight and his mental capacity as well.
I'm gonna die?
No. If the tests confirm the diagnosis, and I have no reason to suspect that that won't be the case, a major course of antibiotics will clear the infection.
So we'll have him back to his old self then?
I'm afraid not. We can cure the infection, but the damage which has happened up to this point will remain.
Well, if that's how it is, that's how it is.
At least we know what it is.
I'll see if I can get you an appointment today with Mr. Watson. Get the necessary tests done.
Then we can send the troops in.
Appreciate it, sir. Sorry, Doctor.
All right, take it easy.
Thank you. Syphilis just didn't occur to me.
That's why we're in practice, Helen. Different interests, different specialities. We balance each other out.
You know, I think I might have misjudged you.
How do you mean?
Well, you're not as arrogant and conceited as I first thought.
I take that as a compliment, do I?
I would. I don't dish 'em out often.
We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. Did it. Woo!
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
Very Doris Day.
All Miss Taylor, actually. Do you like my Scotties?
What?
My Scotty dogs. Cute, eh?
Katrina, what is it with you in the 50s?
Oh, I suppose it's my dad. He used to make me stand on his feet and we'd dance around the lounge to Peggy Lee and Buddy Holly. Yeah, and he loved the cars. That's why he sells them. Yeah, my mum says I was conceived in the back of a Caddy convertible. Yeah, it was fantastic. Great music, the glamour, the outfits, the style. I've got these photos of my gran when she was my age, all dolled up and looking gorgeous. Almost as gorgeous as me.
God, in the 50s, my gran was fresh off a boat from the Caribbean, emptying hospital bedpans.
Yeah, well, I suppose it wasn't glamorous for everyone. I know it was a bit grim back then, but, well, you just got to look back on the good bits.
A bit like ex-boyfriends.
I hope you're not including Major Mark in that category.
Hardly.
Well, will I do?
Yeah, for Lonnie Donegan.
Ha-ha. Hope Ben turns up.
He will.
Well, come on then, the public awaits.
We're meeting them in the leather bar.
Yep. And if you're really lucky, Mark might be there too.
Can I have half a lager, please? Katrina, what are you having?
Oh, I don't know whether I should. Ben hasn't arrived yet, and well, it starts in half an hour.
Come on, I'm buying. It's not every day a girl agrees to get married.
No, with those two, it's more like every other day.
It's called a light switch wedding.
What?
On, off, on, off.
Oh.
Pretty lady, you dancing?
You asking?
I'm asking.
Then I'm dancing. Have you done this before?
University College, Jive Bunny champion, 1991.
Congratulations. I hope you'll both be very happy.
So do I. It's been a long haul getting here.
You've been avoiding me.
I don't think so. Doctors aren't the only ones with busy days, you know.
That's good. I was beginning to think you were feeling uncomfortable about bumping into me.
Why should that be?
Don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with the rumours you've been spreading about me. People get hurt, Faith. We wouldn't want that, would we?